Dear sisters and brothers, welcome to the fourth broadcast of the Time Chronicles. This is a broadcast for January 14, 2022, which is emphasized as a day when the Mercury retrograde starts. You must have heard a lot about this recently, right? The collective consciousness right now might be a little obsessed by the impacts of the Mercury going retrograde. I can agree with some of them, and I'll come to this point in this broadcast later, since it is being asked a lot of time to me. So it is the January 14, 2022, and according to the law of time calendar system, it is the day of the yellow rhythmic warrior. It's a day that can be understood with its attributes of the concept of the yellow warrior. A yellow warrior can be a person born on the yellow warrior day. It can be also discussed about just the day itself and what to do on such a day in general with respect to its specifications and attributes. For example, I am a yellow crystal warrior, and given the tone of the day or the person gets a further definition such as the rhythmic or crystal. So January 14 comes into our lives as the yellow rhythmic warrior. A yellow warrior is a person who can be labeled as the conscious upper self. Wandering on earth with such a macro consciousness. This person is a guide who can access the cosmic consciousness and transmit the cause of consciousnesses from universal web of communication. A macro consciousness lives both on earth and simultaneously in the cosmos at any desired dimension he or she can access to. Therefore, this person is less affected by the drama created on Earth. A macro consciousness is well aware that whatever happens on Earth is a program for the humans to advance their consciousnesses further. If there is drama around, that means humans have not decided yet that they don't need that drama. So, Mercury retrograde is therefore a program. Or Venus retrograde is also a program for a macro consciousness. It doesn't matter which one is going retrograde. So a retrograde is no different than a direct movement of planets according to a macro consciousness in terms of perception or assigned value. Whoever exaggerates the drama in retrograde periods is going to be either self-victimized or victimized or slaved by other people. I'm not against analyzing the details of such periods through knowledge. In this instance, knowledge of astrology with natural setting and, more importantly, with a neutral perspective. Not adding elements of fear or other comments that may lead to manipulation. Let me remind you what we discussed in the third broadcast of the Time Chronicles series, that about 3/4 of our thoughts are coming from our horizontal connections. Therefore, if you hear others talking to provoke fear or implanting seeds of fear that may enable them to exercise control over you, just close this communication right away. And do not forget, who owns your time owns your mind, as Jose Aguilera said. Let us not let the drama makers own our time, and thereby let's not let them own our mind. Couple of more words to the Mercury retrograde that starts today. Yes, it is perhaps more likely that we come across with issues, particularly to this, failures of electrical devices or some minor accidents, which is associated with such periods of Mercury retrograde, or communication issues that may people face. And if we already know this in advance, we may avoid such failures, such accidents or disasters by taking necessary precautions. Or even if we encounter such distractions, we may be more oriented towards problem solving instead of just complaining. We may use our rational mind instead of carried away by uncontrolled impulses from our emotional body. Losing ourselves in the drama won't help us, because it is us to get up on our feet and get ourselves out of this self-made drama at the end of the day, right? We shouldn't be self-victimizing ourselves. Yellow rhythmic warrior keeps the momentum through our rhythm, creating a resonance, thereby a frequency to build a strong magnetic field, which we can name as the immune system of the emotional body. Having the nerves of a warrior do not get distracted even if something unexpected happens, who makes a plan to get rid of the problem. So we have to get rid of the problem when something happens. This is a warrior attitude. We have to find new ways out. We have to perhaps take the paths not taken yet. So, yellow rhythmic day requires questioning to find the truth and explore the truth sayers, no matter how they stand against the status quo. This day requires letting the fear go, which is seeded by the drama makers or our own subconscious. You need to walk with solid boots on the ground, like a warrior who knows where to go, which path to take, and knows how to walk. Adhering to your life purpose based on the grand plan is very important. It's vital, actually, and we must keep that in mind. We have another planet as retrograde. It's namely Venus retrograde that started on December 19 and lasts until January 29th. Yes, 29. I check my notes. Yes, it is January 29. It is said that during this period, humans may face more emotional drama, losing themselves in turmoil, being more spectacle and crying out of nowhere and without any reason. And I would like to take a highlight that we can overcome this with intelligence and determination, our will. So as of January 14, exactly 18 days ago, on December, on the Christmas day, let's say, the James Webb telescope was launched into the space. It is portrayed as a time machine that can explore the very first beginning of how our universe was formed. It is a very powerful telescope. It's about 100 times more powerful than Hubble. It's based on infrared light instead of white light that we can physically see. We cannot see the infrared light with our eyes. Which means actually humanity is going to approach more into the unknown through science, which will bring about a higher appetite for this meta-knowledge, which we are working on, and it is yet unknown to humanity. It was a Christmas day, so people were putting the hats of Santa Claus in the lunchroom. It was very marvelous, actually. And I wonder whether it was also on purpose, or did they know that this day was a Yellow Crystal Warrior Day, the day of the lunch. So the lunch was really a special day. No matter what perspective you look at, it was perhaps chosen on purpose and on a bigger purpose. So let's remember that a Yellow Warrior is a solid translator. It's a decoder unit for the Earth connection to the intergalactic Mysterial Web. I name it like this. And James Webb was a former administrator at NASA who has successfully effectuated the Apollo program in the 1960s. And I was in Florida by that time, and I was 2 years old when the first program was launched to the moon. And we have witnessed it from the Cape Kennedy station, the space base in Florida. It's now called the Cape Canaveral. And James Webb used another base. It was in French Guiana. It was south of America. It was far away from Florida, but it had a very successful launch. And the launch was counted. The countdown was made in French. That's what I picked as a nice gimmick. So if we go into the details of the telescope, it is nice to mention that it has 18 segments of golden layers. I draw your attention to the number 18 for those who understand what it means and the concept of golden layers. It is primarily designed for capturing this infrared light from various angles to decode a better picture, which we're going to see in 6 months from now on, I believe. And an extraordinary engineering, as far as I can understand. And it is well equipped to find habitable planets for humanity and detect fast-moving asteroids or comets that can cause threat for the life on Earth. This is, I think, very important. And what falls on our shoulders as duty is to get acquainted with the science to understand how to make the acquired findings in line with the unknown spiritual knowledge. Because the unknown spiritual knowledge is taken through pure vertical channelings. It's not influenced by any pollution of a horizontal connection. And the science is going to meet those knowledge, the wisdom sets, at a certain point. Because some things that are not explained yet is going to be measured and explained through science. But the knowledge is there. Okay, please do not forget to listen to Time Chronicles number 3 to have a deeper understanding of the horizontal and the vertical connection, because I explained it there in detail. And now, coming to the end, I'd like to conclude with a summary about the Mysterial Web from my recently published book, ARQ2, Orion, A Dream Truth. So I'm reading it. An invisible network was getting stronger between human beings, angels, I call them cosmic missionaries, planets, stars, and all existing beings. This network was called the Mysterial Web. Just as the trees, being electrochemically connected to each other under the surface of the earth, all beings were secretly connected to each other. This connection became more visible and more frequently tapped into as it got stronger and stronger. Magnetic fields, receivers and transmitters, routers, hubs and spokes are managing and enhancing the mysterial network just as a living organism. This network, enabling the cosmic communication with the humanity since centuries, and effectuating the pursuit of the education program of the humans on Earth, started to become a field to which strong brains started to access one by one. As an upper version of the simulation was attained, Mysterial Web has opened to different versions of lives. For instance, the AI copies of the humans could also be connected or downloaded to this web, as well as another being in another galaxy could be connected too. And even if we are living on different planets, different settings, we could meet each other anywhere we want. We don't need a place to meet anymore. In order to accelerate the evolution on Earth, and more importantly, to make the rough programs for human evolution more easier, the Earth should have been connected to the Mysterial Web. The purpose of the Mysterial Web is to enhance the collective consciousness and to create a strong base of power in order to enable more advanced programs for humanity. So, this is the end of my quotation. I hope you enjoy. Now, the book is only in Turkish, but I hope you will see an English copy as well very soon. And by the way, the picture, as you know, at the beginning of this broadcast is created by artificial intelligence when given the words yellow rhythmic warrior, and it carries the frequency of today. So please listen to my previous broadcasts of the Time Chronicles on my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and please share this broadcast with others who you may think might be interested in it. Thank you very much for doing that. And what does all of these tell us is that something wonderful is about to happen. Take care.